Now we're also going to have our search field included. We're also going to include that in our filter backend. We're also going to include our ordering filter in our filter backend. Right. So with this, we've done the basic configuration for this. The next thing we're going to do is we add our filter set field to the endpoint that we wish. So we want to have to filter, so we add our filter backend, which we've already added. So we've added it globally to the default. So let's add filter set, or rather our filter set field. Our filter set fields, we have we use our author. Want to filter by author, let's also filter by title. Then our search fields, we want to search within the content and then the author. And then our ordering fields, we want to order it by created at. So with that, I believe that's the major configuration of just doing this helps us have this already set up on our code. So I would also want to include title here for the ordering. So let's get down to our code now. So you check your response here. So let's get our list create. You notice something appears on this interface, this DRF interface. Here you see your filter. You can filter by author. Let's filter by author Sam and submit. You see that no post is returned because there is no post associated with the author Sam. So let's have Sam or Osondu. We'll submit. See that all posts are returned. So let's also filter by title 2. So filter by title 2 and submit. You can see that only the testing 2 being the title is returned. So let's also include, let's try to search. We filter by some Osondu and search for any post that have lorem ipsum dulo. So here we can search and you see that it returns this because this is owned by the author Samuel, and this is also a content having lorem ipsum dono. So let's order this. Okay, let's have something more generic. Have some more sundu testing. Let's search by testing, which should be on the title. Okay, let's list everything. Remove the search. Let's pick something common. Okay, let's have this is R. I'm going to search by this. Into search by this. Remember, it's a semantic search based on the fields that you have defined. So when we have this, you see that we have all of this being okay. We then submit and submit this. Submitted. Then what to search here. So when we search, you see that it returns the two of them. So let's try to order this. Let's order it by created at. You can see that this is created later than this. So let's have it ascending. Now you can see from the earliest to the latest. Let's have it descending. You see that it moves to the latest to the earliest. So that's how to handle your filtering with Django, your search, your filter, and your ordering. So you can see how easy it is to implement, but all of these are usually not taken into account because we neglect these simple things that of course affects our performance a lot. So we've implemented our filters, our search filter, our ordering filter. Then let's get into pagination. For us, pagination is breaking large data sets. Imagine you have a million posts in your database and then you hit the list endpoint. You can imagine the length of time it will want to take in listing a million posts from the database. However, there's a more effective way to do this. One, for the sake of your database, to reduce load limits, to improve the user experience with smaller digestible. Imagine you do and then you're just thrown every single thing. It's not a good user experience. So you would want to give them little chunks per time and then also enable efficient scrolling through large data sets. So with this will help us introduce what we call pagination. So with pagination, we're going to get our posts listed in reasonable chunks. So let's have to set up our pagination. Like I told you, some of these settings are very basic in Django. So how do I do that? Just have to add default pagination class, and we have rest framework.pagination, the page number pagination. So we have a customized page size of 10, which can be edited. So when we get, let's list all of, let's strip off this ordering and all of that. And then we can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 items in our database. Now you can see the structure of the response now. It has count, for, next, previous, result. So with this, it gives you the number of items within the database of that endpoint you hit. And then if there's a next, remember we have a max of 10 per page. And then if there's a previous, so let's reduce that a bit. And for the purpose of test, let's have it to be 2 per page. Once this reloads, you refresh this, you see that it's returning 2, and now we have a next page. The next will actually now take you to the next page having the contents supposed to be contained in the current page. Now the previous also does the same thing. So this is literally how you paginate in Django. So if you want to adjust the length of items returned, you can always make sure to add this, right? Then finally, we're going to treat our API throttling. What is throttling? Throttling is a way of limiting requests to our endpoint. So this is very necessary because it helps prevent abuse. It helps prevent abuse to your endpoint. Imagine people, malicious users out there that would want to run down your server by running about 1 million requests to your database, to your endpoint. This is a load on your database and it's very malicious. So to prevent this, we do what we call throttling, and Django has provided a seamless way for us to throttle requests to our endpoint. So it prevents DOS attacks. It defends us from DOS attacks, and of course fair resource allocation. Like we've done, we're going to go back to our Django REST framework setting within our settings file, and then we're going to include default going to have a default throttling class. We have our default throttling classes, and then we use REST framework.throttling.anon rate throttle. So anon rate throttle tells Django that we want to throttle anonymous users, and then we want to throttle user that are authenticated. That's the essence of having these two. So the next thing you set is the throttling rate. So this throttling rate, you tell Django that this anon, we're going to allow anonymous users 10 requests per day. And then we want to allow an authenticated user 1,000 requests per day. So with this, it helps us throttle responses or throttle requests from an or rather a user or an anonymous user. This helps to prevent abuse, and it's very necessary for the scaling and performance of your platform. So having come this far, I want to congratulate you once again. And as you moving from just basic code operations to learning some very vital requirements to have your project scalable and performance optimized. So I want you to redo your project, have this, perform this on your own end, and ensure that you've thoroughly achieved this. You can take your time to add multiple posts, add about 1,000 or so. You just keep clicking until it's very multiple, and once you've done that, you can record the time of your request and look at the length of time it takes to process having the select related there and not having the select related there. Make sure you're having a lot of posts, and you will notice the difference, the large difference between their response time. Congratulations on having come this far, and I'll see you in the next section.